Have you ever wondered how robotic arms work? You see them everywhere now. Maybe they're flipping your patties in McDonald's. Maybe they're assisting the doctor when you're getting surgery. Or maybe they're the ones packing up your Amazon packages. So today I built one and I'm going to explain to you how they work. Obviously, this is not as advanced, but it covers the basics on how I built this robotic arm and how it can place objects and drop them using a sensor. I'm going to bring you on a journey on how I built my first ever robotics arm. So you might have noticed in my video that I put a picture of this and a picture of this. Now they look very messy because they were plugged into my Arduino. However, why did I actually not include them in my final design? Well, I have two reasons. First off, I tried to, but my Arduino couldn't power everything by itself since I don't have an external battery. Secondly, I wanted to simplify the project first so I could see it working and build a prototype, and then I'm going to make it harder the next time. However, even though I didn't use it, I'm going to explain how it works. So basically, this is called a breadboard. It's very helpful if you have a lot of wires and you can't plug them all to your Arduino. Then we have here our LED lights, green LED lights, our switch on and off buttons, and some resistors. Then, this one was my prototype number 2 that is not finished, but it has the rotary pentometers that I put. So, it's like this. It looks something like this. To simplify it, a potentiometer is basically a knob that changes electrical resistance when you turn it. So, I'm going to be using those for my next project when I improve my robotic arm. But for now, I decided to just simplify it. That way, it's less overwhelming and I can just at least get a feeling of what it's going to look like on a prototype, and then I can just make it harder. Alright, now it's time to explain how I actually built this project. So, as you can see right here, first of all, what I did is I built the arm. So the arm is built out of chopsticks, and it's basically just a chopstick like this, and then I use hot glue to connect these two pieces, and put them together. They're connected with the servo and connected to this, so I can easily just move this around, and this is basically the gripper of my robot. How does a servo work? So a sensor basically has a small motor and sensors to move its shaft to a specific angle based on the control signals you send it in your code. In my next project, I want to use 2 more sensors, one for the forearm and one for the base. This will make my robot better because it'll be able to easily lean in to pick up the object instead of me having to hand it over. Some challenges I faced when building this was that it was not stable. This kept flipping over and over. It kept leaning to one side or the other, which made my whole project fail. So I decided to use something. So I made a base of a cardboard of an Amazon box, and I put this cardboard thing and I hot glued it here. I used hot glue, and now it's very stable and it works nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to explain the wiring. So you see in our servo, we have 3 different colors. So normally they should come in these colors. The yellow one is called our signal. The red one is like the power, and this one is the ground. Okay, so for the yellow one, for the signal, I put it in number 9. So here in the 9th. And then for our red one. So our red one goes to the 5V. So right here. And our brown one goes to the GND. So keep those three in mind. So our IR sensor is supposed to look something like this. So we have our VCC, our GND, and our out. Our out should be connected to 2. Then our GND should be connected to our other GND here. We have 2. And then our VCC should be connected to our other 5V. This diagram is supposed to help you in case you want to recreate a project. It's probably easier to see it in this diagram than me just explaining to you orally. Right, so here is the code. Basically, what this code is saying is that if it detects an object, the gripper should open. And if it detects nothing, it should close. And that's exactly what we see in our video. So if we go here, we can just plug in our code and we're connected. And then our robot should work just like it did during the video. That's how my robotic arm works. I showed you how I built it, the wiring and the coding. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you in the next video. Also, I encourage you to try to do this project. You can do anything.